Welcome to the Solimi Dreams channel. Gently turn off the lights in your room, slip on your headphones or set the volume just right and close your eyes. I hope sleep finds you peacefully, perhaps even before the story comes to an end. So now, without delay, let me softly begin tonight's story. The Mist of Elder Hollow. No one had marked Elder Hollow on the modern maps. Some said it had been abandoned a century ago. Others whispered it was never truly there at all. But for Daniel Ward, a young hiker from the city who had grown bored with the popular trails, Elder Hollow was about to become horribly real. Daniel had ventured deep into the mountains that autumn, chasing the thrill of discovery. Alone, armed with a heavy backpack, a compass, and the naive certainty that he could handle anything, he strayed from the official paths in search of something untouched, something wild. The weather had turned faster than he anticipated. Thick gray clouds rolled in, and a wet, heavy mist descended, swallowing the trees and rocks around him. For hours, Daniel wandered blindly through his compass, spinning wildly, as if confused by something unseen. He should have set up camp and waited out the mist, but pride kept him moving. Drenched, shivering, and cursing under his breath, he stumbled down a narrow, overgrown path, and there it was. At first, he thought it was an illusion, crooked rooftops jutting from the mist like broken teeth, crumbling walls clinging desperately to the earth. A village, small and silent, hidden in a bowl of the mountains. Relief flooded Daniel. Maybe he could find shelter, even help. The houses were ancient, constructed from damp wood and sagging stone. Their windows stared blankly outward, black and empty. The mist coiled around the buildings, moving strangely, as if alive. Daniel called out, voice echoing sharply across the deserted square. No reply. His words seemed to hang in the air, unnatural and heavy, before dissolving into the mist. He moved cautiously through the village, noting the odd details. Doors hanging ajar, rotten furniture collapsed inside, ancient tools rusted beyond use. And yet, there were signs of life. A lantern swung gently from a hook beside one door, its glass clean and unbroken. Fresh footprints, faint but unmistakable, marred the muddy ground leading deeper into the village. Daniel hesitated, instincts screaming at him to leave, but exhaustion and curiosity propelled him forward. He found what appeared to be an inn, or had once been. An old sign bearing a faded symbol of a stag creaked above the door. Inside, he found a dry corner to rest, lighting a small fire in the old hearth. As the fire crackled weakly, Daniel thought he heard it again. Movement outside. Footsteps crunching gravel. A soft whispering that seemed to seep through the walls. He froze, heart thundering. Shadows shifted just beyond the window, too slow and deliberate to be the mist alone. Gathering his courage, he peered out. In the mist-shrouded street stood figures, tall, thin, and wrong. Their faces were obscured, blurred by the mist, but Daniel saw enough to understand they weren't entirely human. Their limbs bent at unnatural angles, their heads lolled slightly as if straining toward him. One figure raised a long, skeletal hand and pointed directly at the inn. Panic seized Daniel. He snuffed out the fire instantly, plunging the room into darkness. For agonizing minutes, he crouched silently in the shadows, barely daring to breathe. The whispering grew louder, scraping at the edge of comprehension. Words fragmented and ancient, pleading and commanding at once. Stay. Stay with us. Never leave. Something brushed the door. Daniel bolted. He burst into the street, sprinting blindly into the mist. The village twisted around him. Lanes and alleys where there should have been none. Houses shifting subtly when he wasn't looking. The mist thickened, suffocating him, pulling him deeper into the labyrinth. At last, he stumbled into the village square again, gasping, disoriented. In the center of the square stood an ancient well, its stones slick with moss. Something about it called to him, a pull deep within his mind, irresistible. As Daniel approached, he noticed strange symbols carved into the well's rim, spidery runes that hurt to look at. He peered over the edge into the darkness below and recoiled in horror. Something stirred at the bottom, something massive and writhing, with too many limbs and eyes that blinked in sickening patterns. The whispering grew deafening now, voices rising from the well, from the mist, from inside his own head. Join us. Feed the hollow. Daniel stumbled back, but the mist thickened, forming shapes, arms reaching, claws scratching at his clothes, his skin. He fought wildly, tearing free, sprinting toward the edge of the village. The path he had entered by was gone. Only more mist, more twisted houses stretching endlessly in all directions. A bell began to toll somewhere in the village, deep and sonorous. The figures reappeared, surrounding him. Their faces, now clearer, were ghastly parodies of human features. Hollow sockets weeping black ichor, mouths stretched wide in rictus grins. Daniel screamed and plunged through them, feeling their icy fingers tear at him, draining his strength. Somehow he broke free, crashing through a fence and into the woods beyond the last house. The trees here were blackened, gnarled, and wrong. But Daniel ran without thought, driven by primal terror. The mist clung to him, slowing him, dragging at his limbs. The whispering never ceased. The hollow is hungry. You cannot leave. You are part of us now. Hours or maybe days. Later, Daniel burst into a clearing. The mist thinned abruptly, revealing a gravel road and, miraculously, a car. He didn't recognize it, but he didn't care. Summoning the last of his strength, he pounded on the car window. A man inside jumped, startled, but quickly unlocked the door. Daniel collapsed into the passenger seat, sobbing with relief. The driver, a heavy-set man with kind eyes, offered him a blanket and water. "You're lucky, son," he said. "Ain't no one goes into those mountains and comes back." Daniel tried to speak, to warn him, but exhaustion overcame him. He passed out, dreams writhing with mist and hollow faces. When he awoke hours later, safely back in town, no one believed his story. Elder Hollow didn't exist, they insisted. No such village was marked on any map. No records anywhere. He must have gotten lost in the woods, hallucinated from exposure. But Daniel knew the truth. At night he still heard the whispering. Sometimes when the mist rolled low through the streets, he caught glimpses of figures at the edge of his vision, watching, waiting. And deep inside, where fear and memory tangled, he knew. Elder Hollow had marked him. It would never let him go. It was only a matter of time before the mist found him again. I hope you've already drifted off into a peaceful sleep. If not, I truly hope the upcoming stories on my channel will help you get there. If you enjoyed this one, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'd be so happy if you liked and shared this video with your friends. It means a lot and gives me the encouragement to keep creating more stories like this.